Once you are indicated and called upon, then you can proceed with your question. The person that is standing beside the door, we kindly ask for you to close the door so that we can have the best and quality audio for this press conference. So, would like to commence, just raise your hand and then pose your question, whether it is to Coach McLaren or to John. Okay? Thank you.
I'll start it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach, good morning. Good morning. Just tell me, what does this game mean to you guys? You know, it's a very crucial one, both group leaders, as you continue to phase 3 of the World Cup qualifiers.
It's very important. Every game is important for us. It's important to win the games. However you do that, you just find a way to win. And tomorrow night we've got to do that again against a very good Guatemala team who we face again in the Gold Cup. So it's going to be an intriguing 2 games. But we focus on tomorrow. We want to finish top of the group. I think both teams are delighted just to have qualified for the final stages. We look forward to that, and it's more for pride tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to it, getting back to playing in Jamaica, in the National Stadium, and a good support, because I've got to say, the UK, the support was unbelievable. And even the 100 and so people who were in the BBI, we appreciate the support that we're getting around the world from Jamaican people.
Yeah, Chris.
Hi, Chris Muscat, TVG Sports. Jonathan, so this is for you. You know, for some friendlies, you were not included, but you had a very good season in England. How does it feel to be back in the squad for some major FIFA tournament, World Cup qualifiers, Gold Cup, and so on? How does it feel to be back in the squad, and you know, what's the mood like, you know, preparation-wise for this World Cup qualifiers against Guatemala?
Yeah, it's been it's always a pleasure playing here. And I think it's just, you know, the season I had that gave me the you know, the boost to work hard, and what I was playing for was to get back into the team. And it was just to get my rhythm back. I guess in the past I've been inconsistent with my club, and so it's been hard to, you know, get picked and show what I can do. So I think the time is perfect for, you know, I've had a good season, and then I can bring what I've been doing this season into playing with Jamaica, and you know, it's always, the aim is for me to play for Jamaica all the time, always be selected. So playing for the club is going to, of course, help that.
Yeah, and Coach McLaren, you stress a lot of times about the use of local-based players. We see more and more you include them, and how important it is for them to get opportunities so they can basically show the world what they're made of. Again, stress the importance of them, because we see with a lot of CONCACAF teams, you know, even some of the big names, they always make use of their local leagues in terms of the players here. You know, how important it is for them to participate in moments like World Cup qualifiers and Gold Cup.
I think it's important to have a balance, not lopsided one way or the other. Any player who comes into the squad comes in on merit, not because they're local. It's because they can play well enough to be in the squad. So the camps we had in January, February, what we did in St. Vincent, we had 10. What we did in the Unity Cup, we had 10 local players. They wouldn't be there unless they were good enough. And I think since the introduction of the local players, you get a sense of more pride and more used to, shall we say, CONCACAF football, Caribbean football, what's required to win in terms of, you know, Saturday was a great example of, you know, the conditions of the field is not ideal and perfect, and the local players play on that every week, so they know how to play on that. The UK players are used to playing on a bowling green every week, and so playing on some pitches is difficult, as we've seen over the past. So yeah, the local players deserve to be whoever is included deserve to be in the squad.
Thanks, Chris. Mr. Blake?
Thank you. Morning, Coach. Morning, John. O'Healy Blake, Cataract, Drain Radio Sports. Congratulations on the victory in BVI and getting the necessary 3 points. Question, Coach, 2 parts. The Unity squad, starting 11, was pretty much the same in both games. Are we going to see a more settled approach to the team selection? Because that starting 11, everyone would agree, performed exceptionally well. And if I do that, particularly the midfield trio of Russell, Aiden, Casey Palmer, and Ravel Cable, can you speak to how close you are getting to settling the squad, particularly in the midfield?
Yeah, I think we've talked the whole squad, the whole team. We've talked about the goal, qualification for the World Cup 26. That's the goal, and we're working towards when we finally know the draw for the final rounds. I want by the time that comes round, a settled 23 players, maybe additions, so 26, 27, who, yes, I know what they can do, I know how we go forward, I know how we're going to play. So what we've had is games, and the Unity Cup was perfect for it. And you're right, we only had 17 players at the beginning of that against Trinidad, so we were limited in what we could do. They played that well against Trinidad that it was so obvious to include them for the second game. And also players came in late, so that was a no-brainer. And these 2 games, I think, we've got people coming in, like Damari Gray, who needs minutes to play, so he played 90 minutes against BVI. So it's a little bit of what we always find also with the camps, and I'm finding out, is that the second game, because of the travel, because of the shortage of time in between, the first game, travelling there, playing, travelling back, training one day and then playing, the fitness of the players is not as it was for the first. But I think what we've got is a stronger squad now than I've had for a long time. So I have absolutely no hesitation whatsoever. Whereas I think when I started, I knew what my strongest 11 was. I think that's changed over time. We've got injuries to Mikel, injuries to Bobby, we've had injuries to Leon, people out of form. So over time, I've grown the squad to be more balanced, and we've got damn good players in every position. So, what came out in Unity Cup with Kahim and with Cephas and with Roman Burrell, with John coming back into the squad, it's given us a new dimension and competition for places now. Whereas I would say at the beginning, I knew what the team was. Now, there's that much competition that if somebody isn't playing well, I have no hesitation in, okay, you can rest this game, and with energy, we've got that. And I think that is the key to the second game, is that we've got energy. And we've not always got that energy in the second game if we play the same team. So we have not many problems, but obviously Richard King came off with a little niggle in his hamstring. We have to assess him today and make sure we look after him after a long, hard season. So we've got, the squad, it's, whereas before I would be going down in performance maybe, now I know whoever comes in, is deserved to be in the squad and deserves to play, and is great competition all over the field for places.
And a quick follow-up was Isaac Hayden's omission, or not being in the squad in BVI, was that injury related? Is the player
He picked up an illness on the day before we flew, and he went to hospital. where he had to rehydrate more or less, so it was pointless him flying over, playing in that heat at 3. So Hayden stayed here, he's fit now, and totally fit and available for tomorrow.
Eddie?
Yes, Eddie Vision TV. The team of late has been up and down in terms of performances. Are you worried of the inconsistency play from the team going forward, especially?
I think, I think the thing that I'm grappling with is we're creating a lot more chances, but we're not scoring the goals from the chances. So, and I think Saturday was a difficult game. If you see the field, it's what we call in England, and John will know, we call it a leveller. So the worse field that you get, the more the level comes closer and against 90 minutes. You play on a perfect pitch like we do at Brentford, and you see the level is the level. So as BVI was a leveller, and it gives opportunities for smaller teams to cause problems and for us to break it down. We still created 15 opportunities, but we're not. You saw some of the chances, and that's what we need to do. And so it's the inconsistency of scoring. The performance against BVI is going to be totally different to a performance on a different field. And the boys stayed in the game, battled. We needed a second goal, and that's our problem. I don't think we're converting our chances as often as possible in the games, and certainly here, we've not scored the goals here. So goal scoring, sometimes you have 15 shots, and some other games against St Vincent we had over 20 efforts at goal, and only scored 1 away from home, and 3 at home, but 2 in the last injury time. So that for me is, Warner Brown's come in and contributed well. Barella's come in, contributed well. I think we need now to see goals, and we get an assist, but we need goals from our wider players and from our midfield players. And that's one reason that Johnny's in the team, is coming to the team, because when I watch him at Barnsley, and I think after the winter period, he changed position slightly more advanced and scored goals. And I think he's a great addition to the squad, and gives us that threat, as you saw in the Unity Cup, and even I'll say should score with a header. But we're creating chances from midfield. We need more goals from around. We scored 1 from set play. So front players, wide players, midfield players need to contribute more. Otherwise, we're not going to win football matches, and we're going to see inconsistent results.
Gregory? Good morning, Coach. A question each for you and for the first one. Coach, the first question is that Jamaica and Guatemala are the 2 teams that have already booked their spot in the 3rd round already, but you're going to face them again for the opening game of the Gold Cup. How much is tomorrow's match going to be a bit of a dress rehearsal for you before you go into the Gold Cup opener this weekend?
Simple, 2 different games, totally. We'll probably have a different team in the second game than we will in the first, same as they will probably. So 2 different games altogether, and the main priority is tomorrow.
Right. And first, I remember your first goal, I believe, for Jamaica came in Gold Cup against St Kitts last time. Now, back in the squad, having been out for a while, even becoming thick and fast, how are you being handled that responsibility, and how much are you looking forward to the Gold Cup coming up this weekend?
Yeah, playing a lot of games, that's my aim. I love to do it, I love to play. That's what I want to do, just play every single game. And the season I've had, that's what I've been doing. So the level and the amount of games it's been fine for me. Whatever game I play in now is just, we have one aim, and that's to win tomorrow and to win Gold Cup and progress to World Cup. So however that plans out, I'm available and going to do the best best I can.
Thanks, Gregory. Jump in.
Yes, good morning, Coach. You mentioned a lot of traveling has been going on, and there are a few other players that were part of the Unity Cup, part of this squad, and will be part of the World Cup going forward. How much does load management affect tomorrow's team selection?
A lot. Absolutely. The second game is what I proved. I think when I first came in, I was consistent with the team and played the same team the second game, and the energy you could see was dipping from that. What I've got now is a more balanced squad and a better squad that I've no hesitation. No one is guaranteed a place now, and they have to perform well because we've got competition in the wide areas now. We introduced the likes of Tyrese Campbell, Mothersill in the Unity Cup, which we can. Jaheim Dixon showing the potential that he's had in the past. He's starting to show that. Cephas is coming to good form. Down the middle, we've got Warner Brown and Burrell, Romario coming in, who we know from before, so we've got competition in that area. And you're absolutely right, the midfield area is a place where we need a little bit more competition. We're missing Bobby Reid badly. We've got good competition around the back, especially at centre-backs. The emergence of Richard King in our team has been vital. I think Damien Lowe coming into the squad will also add some bit of experience and leadership. Ethan Pinnock will be available for the Gold Cup. So we've got strength in certain areas. You're absolutely right, and everyone talks about it. We need more depth and strength in the midfield area. We're pleased that John has done so well since coming back into the squad, and that takes a little bit of a headache away that we've got a goal threat from midfield. So we are still work in progress, and that's why you're probably still getting consistent performances and results. And we need to get that consistency right, performance right, and make sure that we convert our chances, our ratio of chances to goals has to be higher.
Gabriel?
Yeah, to go off the competitiveness, the consistency, and there's also chemistry. So, John, you guys have spent a lot of time with each other now. Last week was Unity Cup, this week is the qualifiers, next week is the Gold Cup. What are you doing, as well as the teammates are doing, to build that chemistry, to get familiar with your playing styles on and off the pitch?
Yeah, I think it's important off the pitch as well, how we gel together and how we do things together. You know, getting used to how each other and how we live and how we take jokes and how we do stuff like that. So that definitely helps. And then on the pitch, in training and games, when someone's, if even a small little compliment, boost the players and that brings some chemistry as well. Training and watching how players play, and even when we play against each other in our local teams, we see what the players are best at and what they're not so great at, and so we can obviously adapt and help around that. So the chemistry is there, and it's growing, and especially from the Unity Cup, we've all gelled together. We've spent a long time with each other, so the chemistry is only going to get better.
Thanks, John.
Daniel?
Hi, Coach. In terms of our performances at home, they haven't been the greatest. The team hasn't won since you've joined, at the National Stadium at least. How important is this game, not only to find out where the team is in terms of their progression, but to kind of calm fans who are a little concerned after seeing performances against BVI and so forth?
I think we can explain the BVI, and we know from experience it was going to be that kind of a game. We scored early, we should score the second, and that makes the game always close and a little nervous, which it shouldn't be. And also having a little respect for the opponent as well, and making sure complacency doesn't come into it. But look, about tomorrow, it's about winning here. It's about winning here, and it's about scoring goals here. That's my next goal, my next milestone is, to make this a place where people don't want to come. To do that, we have to win games here. To win games, we have to score goals here, and we haven't done enough of both of them.
Matthew?
Hi, good morning, Coach. Good morning, John. Matthew from National Sports. John, you're one of the few players in the team that has a profile that permits him to play all three levels of midfield. Coach said in a recent interview that his ideal midfield consists of a creative player, a controller, and a six, and you played all the different levels. How has the experience been in playing all three different levels, and where do you see yourself that excels the most?
Yeah, you know, in my career I've been a six. Playing out through Chelsea, I've been an eight. At Huddersfield I was more of a six, and so in Barnsley now I've been more of a 8/10, so a bit higher. Give me a bit more freedom to come up and down, box to box. Give me freedom to create, but also get lots of chances to score. And making the box all the time, getting on the ball and driving with it. You know, being able to adapt them through positions is only going to help the team and help the manager in the team he picks and the way he wants to play. And so it's only it helps me and helps me understand other people's position when they play in midfield as well. And so it's a lots of rotation we could do with that. So you know, I'm used to all three of them positions. I think I've thrived in the 8 position this year. And so I just look to carry my performances on.
John, you have 7 caps for Jamaica, all of them outside of Jamaica. You've been in camps on the island, you've seen the support. What would it mean for you to make your home debut tomorrow?
Yeah, it'll be massive. I haven't come on at home yet, and so I would love to. You know, that the aim is to play in front of your fans and play at the best of your ability. You know, it'll be amazing to win and to get a goal. But especially in front of our fans, I think this makes it a lot more special. And so that, you know, I'll be more than happy and grateful, and it'll be a pleasure to play in front of our fans tomorrow.
Finally, right here.
Good morning, Coach. John Stewart, JFF Live. Guatemala will, of course, pose a very different threat than BVI, not just in terms of the caliber of the opponent, but tactically as well. As we've seen over the course of the last year, they've played against Honduras, Uruguay, Costa Rica, and come out with positive results and still generated a lot of chances. So how will you tactically approach this game?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're very good technically, tactically. Got a settled team, a way of playing. So be totally different game. One end of the spectrum to the other end from the BVI. It was, you know, it was a leveler. It was. I remember I played on them pitches in the 80s. It was very, very difficult. So it was a leveler. We got through. That was the most important. We got the result, got out. But tomorrow is important because it's against a very good team. Very good team technically. Very good team technically. Great win against the Dominican Republic the other day. It's going to be a tough game. This ain't going to be easy. And again, it's another experience. There's no easy games in the Caribbean, whether you're playing St. Vincent, the BVI, Guatemala, Honduras, Costa Rica, Trinidad, whoever. There's never an easy game. But what we want to do is try and impose our game at home and win.
John, Coach, thank you very much for your time. Members of the media, please remain in the tunnel until official training starts. Thank you.